All right, cool. So if you guys like to use YouTube, I just started that one up as well. We've got that live, just doing some pre-market analysis on some of these stocks, kind of see what's moving in the pre-market. I'm not too crazy with the list so far. Some of the bigger name stocks are really moving. Like you've got Cisco, who had earnings yesterday. This one's making a big move. It's higher price. It's not something that, we don't typically talk a lot about these higher market cap stocks, but they do offer great, potential moves for $1 or $2. So if you have a larger account, and or if you could just trade 100 shares of something like this, you might be able to get a couple bucks here and there. But as you can see, this thing kind of hit a pre-market high. Now it's consolidating, pulling back. I'm gonna throw some fibs on this one and clear the chart up. And let me make sure this is the way I want it. Adding some extra room to my chart. There we go. And let's see what the fibs are telling us here. Look at the 5-minute. All right, so there you go. So this is on the fib level, this is 3.14 over here. So we'll be looking at these two levels for upside on Cisco today. And obviously there's this big area here where we could actually pull back all the way to 44.86 or so, maybe even a little bit lower today. Maybe it gets picked up by this 200 SMA on the 5-minute. We'll kind of have to wait and see on that. Just checking the trade room, making sure you guys can see me in there. Refresh, perfect, thanks. All right, good to hear. Good to hear. So people are getting in. It's my first day streaming live on Zoom for you guys. I know Lucian's had a lot more practice than me. I tried it a couple times before we decided on it. We like it. So far, so good. So again, pre-market action. I'm not sure what you guys are looking at. But what I'm looking at Cisco, I'm looking at SBBP, PTIE. This was a big runner yesterday. Great winner for day traders. It had a rising wedge yesterday. Peaked out at this custom geo fib level that I have set up here. And, not much happened after hours, and then it just dumped. So I didn't check the news on this, but it pulled right back to that support level around $1. So massive, just a massive crash. We'll have to see if maybe this gets a dead cat bounce today, but there's probably going to be more people unloading after a failure of the the daily 20 EMA. Look, it closed just above it, a little bit below it. Daily doji off that 225 level, and this stock doesn't surprise a lot of people. So this is a very big move for it. This is a huge day, and probably a lot of people unloaded and sold into that strength. And now you're going to see maybe a 50% or even 100% pullback. It might pull back to the original trends and stay there, back around $1. We'll have to see kind of what happens with this one, but I think it's worth watching. Hopefully, no one held this overnight. That would really suck, and that's why we always advocate to you guys, please do not hold these stocks overnight, because they're dangerous. You don't want to hold a sub $10 stock overnight, with a few exceptions. And one of the exceptions that I would have is investors.com, Investors Business Daily, has a really good service. It's pretty, I forget how much it costs, but they analyze stocks under $10 and give them ratings, and you can see a lot of the financial information, and you'll see the charts, and a lot of them have great charts. Even though they're under $10, they're not, the volatility is not, it's not losing 20% in a day or 50% in a day. It's got a steady uptrend or consolidation pattern. So whenever I'm going to consider swing trading a lower float kind of sub $10 stock, I always check there first. I can maximize it, but it'll probably take off the YouTube people, but I'm just going to do it for you guys. So let me do that. Let me know if you guys like the full screen better. That should work. No, you don't like it better? The screen is small? Alright. I'm gonna go back to this then. Yeah, I don't want to mess with YouTube. So I'll try to figure out how to get the borders a little bit smaller on Zoom. Maybe I can do that now. Let's see. Oh, I know what I can do. Let's go with this one. All right, that should be a little bit better now. ASCMA. Yeah, as you guys can see, the gaps are pretty small today. They're like a 12. I think the highest gap today is 12%, and there's really no volume. You know, look at this one. It popped up off of this fib level, but it's really just sitting there doing nothing. So there's, yeah. So someone just said in the trade room, is it just me, or is there no low float, high volume players today? There isn't. I don't see one good setup. So on days like today, I build, that's where our watch list comes in handy that we send out, that Lucian did last night. And, take a look at those alert levels, that watch list, and kind of see those are more likely to have some moves. Otherwise, we're really going to be looking at two scanners really closely today. We're going to be looking at the VWAP crossover scanner and the momentum high a day scanner. And we're also going to be looking at the reversal. We're going to be looking for reversals. So stocks that are moving down or have been moving down from yesterday that are likely to get a reversal today. If we get some bullishness today, I mean, the futures are up right now 0.5%, which is great. So I'm monitoring a futures chart today to kind of see how stocks behave. Kind of low volume on even futures right now, but it's been kind of grinding up. Maybe a lot of shorts covering. We'll have to see. Yeah, moving back and forth. The problem is that I'm trying to view my scanner that's further away on another monitor because I have two desks. Yeah, it's a good mic. It's just me, guys. I'm just moving around a lot in my office today. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my scanner over here. There we go. All right, so David Hotkey Hildy is our chat room moderator. He's looking at ANW. ANW does have a great chart pre-market. Thank you, David. Not a lot of crazy volume, but this is a good ascending triangle pattern, which I got an email yesterday about ascending triangles and pattern recognition. Somebody was looking for a little bit of help on that. I would definitely direct anybody looking to learn patterns more closely to check out our blog post and our ebook and our candlestick courses where we go over that and have videos and drawings where we give examples. But right now ANW is kind of setting up like it might be a good ascending triangle pattern moving into the day. It's It's broken over the 50% retracement level of the major and made a nice pre-market high and trading above this 244 level. So what we're going to be looking for on a 1 minute chart is for A&W to kind of fan out. Like right now it's right here, right? So that's kind of support and this is resistance. There's your ascending triangle kind of set up right here. This might fan out a little bit, and what you'll see is the bottom of the triangle will end up here or here or here, and the top will continue, and eventually it'll just get so big and so fanned out that it'll either break up to the upside and test one of these levels up here, or it'll break down to the downside if the triangle fails. But we'll look for multiple bullish patterns. So A&W, what's the other bullish pattern here? Well, we had a big bearish day, but it kind of still closed on the 20 EMA. Earnings is coming up in a few days. It's already starting to get above this 50% retracement level. That's this orange line here. And, you know, it's had a lot of consolidation in this $1.50 range to $2 range, and now we're getting out of it. So this could bull into earnings maybe for a couple days. And so we'll have to look at that, kind of see what's happening on the daily chart. But we're above the 50 SMA. We're above the 9 EMA, the 20 EMA on the daily, and the 200 is way up here at 295. So maybe we test that today. Who knows? But A&W right now, disregard this bottom triangle. This has a really good pattern, so we're going to watch that today with David. And Creed with the memes. Yeah, pre-market's kind of weird, but you got A&W. Let's see, what was the other stock that David was looking at? David's also looking at SMMT, Sarah, Michael Tango. So this one's pretty nice too. You've got a you know, overhead resistance here, and you might be seeing a triangle set up. I mean, you kind of already have a triangle set up right here, which is kind of nice this close to a bell. So let's discuss something really quick about SMMT because we've got about 3 minutes before the bell. VWAP is above price. You've got the 9, 20, and 50 moving averages all bundled up right here, right at the apex. You got a nice high and a good consolidation pattern, nice clean triangle. What you would look for on this is explosive volume, level 2 time and sales showing you good results, a contracting tight bid-ask ratio, and a move out of this apex above VWAP and to test this pre-market high or move higher. So this has got a really good pattern. Those are the two best patterns that I'm seeing. Kudos to David for finding them. Major cup and handle. Yeah, that's what I was just gonna do. So I was gonna check out the daily pattern. So this one made a low yesterday, an all-time, maybe an all-time low, and it's bouncing. So yeah, so this made a very big. This might not be an all-time low, but I went back 3 years. So let's do the major fib real quick on this because we've got another 2 minutes on this. So we're gonna go to 1975 down to 194, and let's just edit this. Oh, it's not letting me edit it. That's odd. Huh. There we go. Wow, that's strange. So it's not letting me edit it. So I'm 5 cents off on this one, but the heck with it. So here we go. That's the low. Let's see where this could potentially move up to. 414. You know, we'll call it 410. You know, I typically want to take profit before these fib levels anyways, because that's where you'll start to see price reject. Sometimes it pulls right through it and gets above it, but I look at these lines like magnets. It'll attract price and it'll repel price, so we got to watch for that. So this could be a nice move potentially. Obviously, hourly chart doesn't look too good on SMMT, but let's see what happens in this apex. That's SMMT. I'm going to put that off to the side. I've got a 6 chart set up on my other screen over here. Cool, I sound like Matt Damon. Sweet. Do you like apples? Alright, so bell rings, breaking out of the apex. Let's go back to A and W. Go back to A and W. Makes me think of root beer, A and W, even though there's an M, AMW. So this is a good setup. VWAP, 50 SMA, 9, 20, all bundled up. Nice ascending triangle pattern setup. Needs volume. Don't buy the first candle ever, unless you really like gambling. Oh, American Ninja Warrior, yeah. Yep, I got a chart of PTIE open. PTIE is getting volume off of the $2 fib. SMMT is kind of flushing right now on the second candle. A&W hasn't decided what it's going to do yet. PTIE pulling right back. Futures are starting the day bullish. A&W is still losing a little bit here. This could be a good short. You'll have to kind of watch what happens here, guys. This might just roll over and go all the way back to $1.57. So watch the trend, see if we can get a trend forming. So let's see if this is just a shakeout bounce. Quite a few shares dumped on that candle. Actually, let me fix my appearance a little bit. So watching a bunch of charts right now, guys, and no rippers that are in this smaller category. Apple's making all-time highs, so that's great. You know, that's futures are moving up. So maybe today we see further follow through on the recovery. A&W, maybe it pulls back to this 208 level. Or maybe this is just the flush, the shakeout on this big 57-cent move. It's very possible. So here's what we want to look for. This trend line right here got disregarded, disrespected. Now what you want to do is go, okay, I got a small, it's not even really a hammer. I guess it's kind of still a spinning top because the tail's not long enough to really call that a hammer. But now what we might be seeing, is a triangle like this kind of playing out, which is just what I told you guys earlier. It's a bigger ascending triangle. Someone just asked about the purple lines on my chart. These are my custom. I'm sure there's someone else in the planet that thought of this, but I didn't find them. I did some research on different types of geometric levels that I wanted to add to the Fibonacci tool. So I went in and I edited the Fibonacci drawing retracement tool to include these levels, and I did a video on it in our members only section. So it's members only videos. It's under day trading, but it can be used for swing trading, investing, day trading. It's a great system of grids, price grids to watch for price to react in these levels, pull to them, drop to them. So A&W, pretty crazy buying volume right here, guys. Let's see it get it back the moving averages, maybe recover it. This is your, so here's the theory with ascending triangles. Someone's calling out Kron. Yep, Kron's getting some volume. Nothing too crazy, but very typical for Kron. So Kron fell out of that rising wedge yesterday, and it looks like we might get a good continuation on Kron. Real quickly, guys, ascending triangles, how I like to trade them. I like to actually buy, if I can, the bottom of the ascending triangle so I get a really good entry. And my goal is obviously to have it break out of the top, a flat top breakout, and then push higher, maybe to another fib level, like this 281 level. So I might buy all along this bottom trend line if I think it's valid. Now, it's only been tested once. I like 3 tests of a bottom line of an ascending triangle before I like to take a position. And I like a really good candle setup. Even though this is a lot of volume, I think these guys might have jumped the gun and that it's going to pull back close to their entry. You know, look at all these people that entered here. It might pull back and really flush this further. So I'm going to be patient and wait for a really good angle. But, you know, looking at the setup here, I do think this can potentially hold. Might be able to get a good entry and get some kind of a push, but you'd have to be kind of patient. PTIE, let me put that one in. Yeah, see, PTIE is trying to get, let's jump over to there real quick. So this great one yesterday, you know, maybe setting up again to move to maybe halfway through, maybe $1.61, maybe retrace. The setup's pretty good. You got all your moving averages right here and VWAP. It's possible we start to create a trend and get back up and maybe recover. But this type of pattern, it's really hard to trade this. This is just a gap down, and we're holding that fib level. I'd like to see some bull flags or something other than spinning tops and dojis. Buying anywhere in these moving average lines is fine, as long as you're okay with what the repercussions of that. So if you bought like around $1, $1.05, and this pulls back to, you know, 98 cents, you're okay. But if it starts closing below the pre-market lows of 96, you might want to think about getting stopped out, because this could pull back 50 cents and you could really take a pretty big loss. And you have to consider this. So here's the high. Here's the high of the pre-market. And if this starts to pivot here, this is your overhead resistance. And what will happen is you can sometimes take the high of the previous day, connect to the low of the pre-market, and you'll get this falling wedge. You guys see that? I actually missed that line. So here's the high. See the pivot right through here? Draw that line right through here and see if price obeys this, if this turns into a negative trade. Not saying it's going to yet, but we want to be prepared for that. So that's PTIE. A&W, American Ninja Warrior, is holding the bottom of this triangle so far. So that's kind of nice. And the volume trend looks like it might be starting to pick up. You guys will see me talk about this in my videos. I'm looking for a volume trend that's moving in this direction. You know, red volume moving down, volume trend reversal, followed with candlestick reversal. It's all part of the puzzle. And you'd want to see that move up in something like that direction as it moves up in this triangle. Let's take a look at Cron. So Cron kind of pulled right back, made a high, pulled back a couple pennies. Very messy in here. Go back to A&W. I really like A&W so far. It's moving slow, but I like the volume trend, and I like all these buys around this. Look, there's no moving average here, so what's holding it up? You know, it's building support at this angular level. So that is what we're looking at there. Wow, I guess you guys are liking Zoom better than YouTube because there's a lot more of you guys on Zoom today. So TIS, I see you guys talking about TIS in the trader room. Let's go over and look at that. And TIS is crazy bullish with crazy volume. And let me turn this off to... All right, that's not operating well today. So TIS is possibly moving up to this 441 level later today where it had a lot of support. You can see right through here, multiple days of support now become resistance after a falling wedge. You guys see the falling wedge here. And then the breakout after the earnings call. And now what you might be seeing is a trend like this. Let's see, let's connect these candles. Right now we're kind of in that triangle, but we might get a trend like this. We might get a really nice up channel. We don't know that. Wow, none of these clicks are working for me today to edit my drawings. That's fabulous. Maybe I have to do it over here. Let's see if that works better. Yep, okay. Figured it out. Welcome to the new members. Just got a SMRK Smorkovsky. Just said he's a new member, so I want to welcome him. Okay, guys, check it out. So this is the triangle we're in right now on TIS. We want to see a breakout out of this triangle pattern, and we want to get up to this 441 level, but we want to get a good entry. It's a 5-minute chart setup. It's not offering a great entry right now, so you want to get in on a pennant bull flag pullback, which this is potentially forming a bull flag on TIS, and you want to see it break this 327 328 area. I'm just checking out some other charts. PTIE is bearish underneath our trend line at the moment. A&W is riding our angular support. Checking the scanners, a little quiet in terms of smaller stocks, but here we go on TIS. This could be that pullback finishing off the 9 and off of VWAP Let's see. Let's get some confirmation on that. Like to see you guys make money. Love when you guys post. You're making whatever you guys are making. That's great. So, TIS I'm liking right now, guys. I'm liking this volume. Had a nice volume trend right here for that rise. A little bit of a profit taking on these candles, followed by some big green candles. Want to see a nice solid breakout out of this wedge. It's a low float, so with low floats are funny because the lower float penny stocks, whenever they're bullish and they're in a ascending wedge, there's kind of almost a neutral 50-50 chance that they break up to the upside, whereas a low float stock in a falling wedge, there's a greater chance as the wedge gets tighter that it breaks out and does some kind of a bounce, whether it's small or big, it all depends. But on a high float, mega cap, higher price stock, on a rising wedge, they are more likely to break down as the trend lines get closer together, the pattern gets tight. But a lot of times you'll see those bigger stocks double test the rising wedge before really breaking down. But that's my synopsis on that. A&W still riding the bottom of the trend line. So I'm watching that offhand on another chart. It looks like TIS might be flagging a little bit more. You guys see that? This is where candlestick close price. We talk about candlestick close price a lot. It's very important for making great trading decisions. This has not closed below the 9 EMA. Selling volume has been decreasing. Pay attention to that. It's been decreasing as we get closer to support, which is a great sign. Now let's see if the bulls want to come in and take this up and break out of this flag, get this thing to run. A&W is breaking right now. A&W is not holding the bottom of that triangle. So you're probably going to get a big flush on A&W back to $2.08, because that's where support is. It's the next support. All right, so VWAP crossover scanner. Our trade idea scanner is just picking up this crossed VWAP a couple of times, and the volume is not. It's got a couple volume candles that meet my criteria of 50,000 or better, but it hasn't started to really run yet. And if you look at this is probably current angular resistance, and this is currently angular support. So that's the pattern that we're inside of. I want to check out what's this other trend line. Oh, I had an hourly chart on those trend lines there. Earnings are coming up. Looks like a nice earnings run up. Made a nice high yesterday. Pullback. Maybe this is getting ready to do another 50 cent or dollar day. So keep an eye on that. This is kind of the. Oh, I kind of cut that off a little bit. Let's go to the doji. Here, let's do this. Let's go to this one. There we go. All right, so there's the major pattern inside this one. That's a little bit up here. So you could see something like this. So keep an eye on ASNA on volume to break out of this triangle and maybe test the top of this bigger triangle resistance up higher. Let's go back over to TIS. Yeah, A&W didn't really sell off too hard, but I don't like that it broke that triangle. That's not my favorite thing to see on an ascending triangle pattern, to have it spill out. Yeah, thanks, Creed. Creed, I think you know your limits on our memes, right? Your memes are awesome, bro. But we are a PG community. We are the Care Bears. Lucian and I were talking yesterday how we're kind of the Care Bears of the stock market. You know, we're very nice. We're not mean. We don't talk a lot of smack and, you know, try to act all big and bad. There's lots of big and bad, tough guy traders out there that like to gloat. And we don't do that. You know? We're like, come to our community. We're nice. We won't be jerks. We'll actually teach you. You'll learn, and then you'll make money. And then hopefully you won't gloat and turn into one of those types, right? We're changing the world. Care Bears of the stock market. All right, so TIS is still in a super big flag right here. It hasn't really broke down. It's below the 9 right now, so that's Lucian. That's concerning. 20 EMA, maybe he's going to hold it up. We'll see. I'm just looking for more volume than I'm seeing right now. I'm not on the low floats. I'm just not seeing it. Yeah, Care Bear stare. That's what I was thinking, Loney. Kind of a bull bear, more bear looking creature, you know, cartoon drawing with the official Bullish Bears logo on his belly. And then he does his stare and the logo comes out and smacks you in the face. Care Bull, yeah. Looking for volume. Oh, you guys want to see a crappy stock that's got crappy penny stock that crossed VWAP? Here's a crappy penny stock that crossed VWAP. And got a decent amount of shares to push it and is pulling right back. I do not recommend trading this. Although it's got a buttload of relative volume on that hourly candle. But that doesn't really mean anything. A little bit of an inverse head and shoulders, maybe breakout. But the risk reward on this is terrible, so don't buy it. BOXL. Boxel hit the scanner today. I actually have an old alert at 620, which is that fib line. So if it broke that, that was something I was looking for a potential breakout. But kind of a nice flag pattern here, pennant, bull pennant, and now a continuation pattern. So Boxel's a pretty good former runner. And we'll have to see if it really gets the volume to push it up to 619. But this might provide a good scalp today. You're not sure, though. This could just be some big swing traders taking a position, and then, you know, of course, these big swing traders bought these candles, and then it drops. They're instantly in the red, so that's fun. Yeah, TIS failed the flag. The flag failed, and now we're pulling back to we might be pulling back at some point to VWAP or the 200 SMA on the 5-minute, or maybe even the bottom of this wedge. This might still provide some good trades for a good 70-cent move today, so you can kind of watch that. If you're you want to be really slick and not watch this, just create an alert with the drawing. Usually, oh, it lets me do it on the other chart. I see what the problem is. It's still not letting me do it. There we go. Create alert with drawing. I had to redraw it for some reason. So if this crosses, you would say TIS bottom of triangle wedge support. So if this pulls back to this line, you're going to get a nice little alert from Thinkorswim, and maybe that's a good entry level. So yeah, let's see. Let's look at Cisco. So there you go. Cisco just pulled all the way back. 5-minute 200 SMA. A lot of these momentum stocks, guys. The 50 SMA and 200 SMA are pretty darn good indicators for momentum. You know, obviously above this is great, but when the moving averages all start getting tangled up and price starts printing below the 50, the 9, the 20, you're probably looking at a pullback to the 200, and then maybe that's a good entry. But you also got to respect your fib levels and see if it might move lower. So A&W continuing to pull back, really failed that pattern. Somebody raised their hand in the Zoom chat. Which is funny because we don't use the Zoom chat. So if you want to type something, please type it in our trade room, and do an @Dan if you could. But thank you for raising your hand in Zoom. That's very polite. So remember this pattern earlier, guys. Overhead resistance, volume starting to break. Almost, 40,000 shares. That's good. This triangle failed, but this one has not. So this is kind of a descending triangle, actually. Really, it's more of a descending, right? And if this starts getting above VWAP, that could be very good. So this could be the play we've been waiting for, because this particular pattern is the only one that's really has promise at this moment. All the other ones have disappointed. PTIE disappointed, A&W disappointed. If that's at least if you're bullish. If you're looking to short, you might have been very happy with those patterns failing, which is completely okay to do. TIS offered an excellent bear flag or a bull flag breakdown to short, and A&W offered a pennant breakdown or ascending triangle. Get my patterns mixed up. Okay, Wen is awesome. Wen is a ride the 9. Wendy's. Everybody loves Wendy's, right? Let's look at Wen. Look at this massive wedge. Extend to the right. Extend to the right. Broke out. Big breakout. Dividends coming up. And it's really broken all of the horizontal resistance today. So this could be a good day for some follow through. Let's go back further on Wen. Wow, look at that. Let's go back a little bit further. Let's go back 10 years. Dang. So let's look at the WEN weekly trend lines. All right, so WEN's weekly trend line is way up here around 1920. So you could actually see WEN hit this level today if it gets the volume. These are actually kind of small volume candles if you look at it. They're only like 50,000 share buys, but these are maybe you know, sneaky dark pool type low algorithmic volume, just trying to sneak in and push, it's pushing the price up, but this might explode to 1920 today. It could. This is already a very big candle for Wendy's, so just see if this intraday pattern looks good. This could be just a very short pullback right here to the 9, and then another rally, and then another pullback, and then another rally. It could do that, and then it would most likely stop in this area. Nice, Creed. Oh, dude, you're the best. It's highly accurate. I think I'm Grumpy Bear, which I do get kind of grumpy sometimes. So here you go. Here's Wendy's. So this is where this pullback. You'd probably want to buy this. Just have a stop below the 9 EMA. You want a nice stock that's kind of just grinding and moving slow. Use the 9 EMA on the 1 to get your entry, and you could even use the 5-minute. Wow, 5 minutes actually very extended here, which kind of bothers me a little bit. But this thing could just grind. So Wendy's is good. So good eye on that. I lost my train of thought. What were we just watching? With the good pattern. Oh, it was Sarah Michael Tango. So this did not get above the 50 SMA or VWAP yet. Not yet. It's still May. It's still May, so you might see that happen. And maybe create an alert. Create an alert right there where it made that high. And let's see if it gets above that. And then maybe we could put together a run on this. Yeah, because this is kind of almost a falling wedge here too. So this might be a very good play today. SMMT. It's not there yet, but it could be a very good play. Somebody asked me about FAMI. FAMI. Super low volume. Low price stock with super low volume. I would stay away. These are less than 10,000 share candles, which I don't trade. Unless I'm looking to maybe swing trade a stock with a really good uptrend that's in this level. You need a lot more volume to excite me. But it does look like this pattern right here, this kind of rounding out, rounded bottom, maybe semi kind of cup pattern. The daily looks kind of nice. It's getting above the 20 EMA. The 50's up here. wait for explosive volume on this. And just real volume. These are not real volume candles. OSTK, I was watching this in the pre-market because I liked this one. This one, these fib lines I already had drawn. And I do like what I'm seeing here. I do like that this overhead resistance is potentially getting tested, and it's got a lot of upside reward over here at 37 bucks. It's pretty far away. It's a major fib level, but it's testing a major bottom support here and doing it pretty well so far. You know, we have to wait and see what the if it's going to get above this angular resistance, then I would take that trade. Until it does, I would not take a trade until it breaks this overhead resistance. And that's a lot of this type of trading is sitting on your hands and getting the best entry on the best setup, which, you know, TIS failed, A&W failed. Those are still bearish. Those are just being shorted and sold. Somebody took FRED. FRED, again, kind of low volume. There was a couple of good, decent sized buys. I don't like these low volume candles. I'm picky. It might be really slow though, so I guess, you know, you guys might like this because they move really slow. They still ride the 9 to some degree. They're in this, it's in this kind of rising wedge right now, and it's at this fib level, which it's respected quite a bit, but it's above it right now. So this could still move 15 cents today, and it could do it slowly. So that might be something you like. But me personally, I'm looking for more volume. I'm looking for a good solid pattern with room to run. And so far, all I've seen are failed bullish patterns, left and right. You know, pretty much anything that was bullish in a bullish pattern failed, and anything that's been in a good reversal pattern has failed as well. So unless I'm missing something, then I know I'm missing a lot, guys, because I'm focusing on small cap stuff, which I'm starting to get super bored with, because I'm showing you guys things, but I'm not showing you anything that's really tradable, other than maybe Wendy's and maybe Boxel. Boxel is kind of riding this 9 and grabbing support on the 20. That's the red line, and it's doing this, and it's doing this, kind of a rising wedge. But Boxel is a great former runner, and it's really got great daily volume yesterday, and it's got great daily volume today already. Look at the you know, when you zoom out, it doesn't look too impressive, but it might be trying to get back to this 50% level, which I believe is the blue line up here at what's that, 872. You know, look at some of these really big candles with long wicks that could happen, and I don't see their official earnings on this chart. Let me check my other one. Huh, yeah, I don't see earnings on this. So, for you guys that are watching and interested in trading options, I'm going to look for some stocks with you, for you. Let's look at Walmart. Walmart had earnings today. Big bullish kicker. Getting close to that $100 level. This big, I've been watching this big rounded kind of bottom forever, it seems like, for it to break out. It's had such a nice uptrend last time, which if you look on the weekly chart, the last time it had a really big week like this, it went on a really nice uptrend. And if you look at the weekly, you've got the 9, the 20, the 50 all converging on a weekly chart. That's very nice to see. You've got the crossover back here. A lot of people started to buy these weekly candles as they closed above the 9 and the 20. And you could be, maybe we'll see some type of weekly cup and handle breakout and maybe test these recent highs on Walmart. Yeah. Yeah, it's extremely slow volume, guys. There's no really good volume uptrend. But, you know, I'm going to be watching Walmart for a good options play. And probably what I'll do is I won't day trade it, but I'll sell as long as the market continues to cooperate, which is questionable. Especially with the tariff thing, trade war stuff going on with China, and Walmart gets a lot of stuff from them. I have to like maybe listen to the earnings call, read some articles, and check investors.com. But Walmart might be a good options play to sell a bear call spread. Let's look at Acre. Yikes, I'm on the weekly chart, so it's going to look like that. All right, Acre. Some good volume buys. But I don't know. I don't like it still. It got above this 50 SMA on the hourly. 200 SMA is kind of holding it down right now. See the 5-minute trend. Let's see, right now it's doing that. It's also maybe doing that. I don't like the risk reward on Acre. So that's my thoughts on that. I wouldn't touch it. Sorry, I wish I had better things to say about it. Right now I like right now I kind of like Boxel. Made a new high a day recently. And I think if this channel holds, we could see 620 kind of soon, which it's at 580 right now. That could be a really good move. So Boxel's kind of looking nice. A&W still looks like crap. PTI looks like crap. Futures looks like crap. There's not really much going on. Futures 5-minute chart is kind of a rising wedge. Right here. It's in this rising wedge. It's at this fib level, hovering around this. Futures love to go down to this 27.90, 28.34. It's like its favorite thing to do lately. You can just see it trading in this range right here. You know, so hopefully it gets back in this channel. See this green line here and this dotted green line. I'd really like to see futures get back up here, break those all-time highs again, let the bull market continue. That would be really good for us this fall. So let's look at some bigger stuff. Let's look at BABA. Baba's been kind of recovering since yesterday. And I like this pre-market setup. Baba might be something you want to watch to flip some options on. If it makes a run up to this 180 level, that's a really big move. It's got an inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So this might move back up to 177. Kind of fill this whole gap down. That gap could get filled really quick. So if you like day trading options, that's kind of resistance for it. So that's a good couple dollar move. On Alibaba, Boxel just shorts just got a hold of Boxel. Boxel just broke out of this rising wedge to the downside, spilled out on volume. You'll have to see if it retests or is it going to pull back to the original trend of, you know, 510. So that's still a good 30-cent drop. Let's look at A&W. So let's see, this failed. This kind of doesn't mean anything now, but it's possible that this little falling wedge is getting a breakout around the 200 SMA. Look at all that volume that got picked up right here on this candle, around 170,000 shares. Here's the low, connect the low to this pivot point. And now it's quite possible that A&W gets a reversal play going. We'll have to kind of, I'd rather see some follow through than buy this. This is still potentially going to be held down by the 50 SMA, 200 SMA. So let it consolidate a little bit in this area and then see if there's a good breakout candle to hop in on. Not seeing it yet. Alone, I know. These patterns have not followed through at all. So the thing is with a lot of these patterns, when they're inside of them, you're great. You know, when you're inside of this, it's all hunky-dory, but one big seller can push everybody out and make everyone sell. And that's the thing with these low float small caps. So you really have to be on top of your game. And if you don't think you're fast enough at order execution, then you need to practice with your hotkeys a lot more, or even get a trader with hotkeys. Interactive Broker, DOS Trader, CMEG, which we talk about on our site, our community a lot, all have good hotkeys. And I would never want to trade one of these without them. And yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to steal that one as well, Creed. And unlike Lucian, I know how to save images to my computer that people share. So Creed trend meme. Thank you, Creed. So let's check out. It's like Rosie in the chat room was looking at Mosey. Rosie likes Mosey. I can see why. This is This one's starting to get some really good follow-through volume. And it actually broke. Actually kind of broke out of this wedge triangle right here. So that's very nice. Let's see what else is going on with this chart. Daily 20 EMA is around 116. So it's got 10 cents left to the fib and maybe the 20 EMA. Yeah, that's right, Creed. That's how he does it. Well, I remember yesterday listening to your stream, Lucian, and you said, "Oh yeah, hey, can you send that to me? Can you send me that image?" I think he emailed you an image, but maybe it's because you were streaming and you didn't want to be distracted with clicking and saving the image. I get it; it's hard. Yeah. So Mosey's hitting the high day scanner. 115 is resistance. Pretty much been a ride to 9 the last 10 minutes. Relative volume is incredible on this. This is true, Lucian. So Mosey might be offering a pullback entry here. Or a dump. That was a lot of volume selling right here after this kind of shooting star. Right here. Evening star. Boxel is still just getting shorted. Yep. Boxel's getting shorted right now. Probably going to pull back to 503, 505, kind of what I was looking at earlier. Yep, that was a nice bear flag on Boxel. So, here's your bear flag. Boom, boom. There you go. And then candle outside of the candlestick close makes it a nice bear flag completed. And here's the support right in this purple line and green line. That's the that's kind of the hourly support, or 5 minute support. Like a boss. Okay, so what have we learned today? We've learned that bull patterns are only bullish till they're not. And Boxel rising wedge, it's bullish inside the wedge, but then very bearish when you break outside the wedge. And that was a huge red flag with another red flag follow through. ANW, which was in an ascending triangle, broke out to the downside, turned into a falling wedge, and is now making an inverse head and shoulders with a possible opportunity once we get above this 50 SMA around 212, and then maybe test VWAP and get above. This could actually be a nice reversal. See you, David. Yep. So I'm just reading some comments about pumping stocks and how it's definitely easier Everyone gets this. Lucian's mentioned it a lot. You see it in other. Lucian's saying, let's pump some stocks, which, we know that he's not serious because Lucian is Captain Ethical. And it's just a lot easier to take a position and then say, oh, buy at this level, and then say, oh, I sold. Everyone gets that, so I won't go into that. A&W might be coming back. Inverse head and shoulders. Better Trader asks a question. He or she says, do you ever use time and sales to make a decision to trade? If so, how important do you find it? The answer is yes. So I've been using my DOS account for level 2 and time and sales, and I really like the layout, and it's quick and easy to read. And yeah, I look for buys. If I'm looking to go long, I'm looking at buys at the ask or close to it, something in between sometimes. So you'll see white fills on time and sales that are people getting filled in between the bid and the ask. But if you start seeing a lot of these big buys where it's on a low float stock, someone's picking up 5,000, 10,000, you got triple zeros or more on it at a key point, it's really helpful to see that there's a lot of conviction. Time and sales is showing you the level 2 is one thing. It's good to see those orders queued up and where those big buyers are, but like we all know, it can be manipulated. But the tape, the time and sales are not. Those are actual real orders that were bought at the bid, bought or sold at the bid or the ask. And depending on what your feelings are on the stock, what your analysis is telling you, you want to see certain things. And paying attention to it is great. And I do. Yeah, I look for really big buys, at the ask when I'm at a key support level. And it helps kind of put it together that, hey, there's a lot of conviction on this. You'll see it with the volume, obviously. But when you see those buys come in, you're not necessarily making a decision solely on that. And I know there are people that do. Because a lot of times after you see those big orders come in, the stock immediately pulls back. So usually you would want to wait for a couple minutes, or maybe a minute, 30 seconds. Let those big buys come in, let the stock go right back down, pull back to the 9, then buy the next one, right? Buy the next 1 or 2 candles after somebody just spent a ton of dough to kind of pump the stock. The algos, the system knows it, kind of pushes it back down, and then you look for your entry, which we might be getting an entry on A&W very soon. Head, right shoulder, 50 SMA. Need to clear candlestick resistance at 210. That's a nice even number. And then we've got some at 215 and then 220. So we got kind of a doji high wave right here. A lot of spinning tops in this area. But I like how the 50 SMA is close. The 50% retracement levels right here at 208. This is good. So HTGM. All right, don't take your eyes off of A&W, guys, if you guys are looking for a decent trade to possibly take here, but I'll take a look at HTGM. I will take user requests today. And again, I don't like the volume. I kind of like the pattern. Come on, trendline. It kind of broke out of this right angle. Got one big, big buy volume candle. around 25,000. But it's a low volume. The low volume mover had earnings a couple days ago, pulled back. Lots of indecision right here on this almost dragonfly. Even today's candle is kind of like, you know, the selling volume is increasing, which I don't like to see. So these might be just really convicted traders or swing traders looking to catch a bounce. But we need volatility to make money. You don't want to trade this and then be stuck in it. Let's say you bought this at 336, 340. You're up maybe 10 cents, but it's just moving so slow. It might take till 11:30, 11:45 for it to get out of this, and maybe not. I don't really want to be in a trade for 10, 15, 20 minutes unless it's an options trade, or if it's really grinding in a good bull pattern. It's different. User request. Personal opinion on how to best trade an IPO to the minute. 1 minute, 5 minute. So what was a good IPO I just saw last week? I think I did a stream on it and I can't think of it right now. It was a good tech stock. I'd love to show you with an example, but no, it wasn't ABIL. Yeah, something with an AZ. I'm gonna have to look now. I'm gonna go to the NASDAQ site, check out the IPOs. Recently filed. Oh, here it is. Sono. Here's Sono. That's what it was. See all my chicken scratch here? So, great opportunity. Look at this chart. From last Friday on Sono. This was after, you can't see it over here. Well, I'll go back to a 10-day. So this is a 30-minute chart, but Sono ripped right out the gate and just rode the 9, basically on a 1 and 5. And I was actually looking for a continuation up. And then a short opportunity on this as well. I was looking to trade that either way. I didn't end up trading it, but it's been in a downtrend for several days now. And then look at yesterday. That's set up yesterday at the bell, or last Friday, I'm sorry. Right out of the gate. Nice ride the 9 play on the 5 minute, probably on the 1 minute as well, obviously. But and then, you know, pullback. So these IPOs have great, they're trying to establish a trend, and you can day trade these, and they have lots of volume. So great opportunity. The ATR on this stock is probably $2 right now. I'm not sure, but, and actually Sonos is looking very nice, very nice right now. So here's Angular. Resistance, here's support. This thing could make a dollar or two move today, given the area it is on the daily. Might be trying to close up on the 9, and it's got resistance. Kind of got resistance there, there. So you've got some zones to watch out for. But this could be a good 75-cent move on Sonos. Or Sono. I'm actually going to add that to my list off screen. Yes, A&W. Still in this right shoulder. 50 SMA. Converging with the 9 and 20. Very important. Head, shoulder, get above the 50 SMA, make a plate of VWAP, and let's see what else could be holding it down. You might see this hold it down right here. See that? 1, 2, 3. So now you got 3 contact points. Let's get rid of this line. Get rid of this one. And I'm going to get rid of my candlesticks just really briefly. I'm going to remove all the studies. Okay, so now it's just a pattern. Just to show you guys how patterns quiet the noise down with the moving averages. You know, this is AMW. I keep calling it AMW because I like root beer. There's the head. Shoulder, kind of a shoulder up here. I know it's like a little off kilter, but and here's the apex. So you're looking for this to get out of this apex on volume. VWAP is somewhere up here, so you're gonna watch that, and then you got 1, 2, 3 targets, and you'd like to see, you know, some type of a up channel forming to get through all of these different ladders. Creed, nobody knows who that is. I speak for everyone, and no one knows who that is. And we don't need to know. No, Jerry, you don't. So a couple things to take into consideration. Futures are bullish. It's getting closer to 11. Shorts were really the play today so far for most of these stocks, unless you got really good entries very early in the morning. And there were a lot of bullish patterns that broke down and bearish patterns that haven't reversed like we would like to see. Here's TIS. Remember, this bull flag broke down. Now what you have is a little bit of a wedge right there. And let me see. I'm going to put this one. Oversold, oversold. Let's move this down a little. So now we got the 9 and VWAP at least on here. Actually, let me take this off. Want to make sure you guys can really see a nice clean chart with a pattern. So yeah, TIS, falling wedge at this pretty big support level. Maybe get a reversal here and a potential VWAP play where I would want to take profit probably before VWAP. But that is something you can do. Futures are still bulling. A&W is still in that triangle we just drew. Has not gotten out yet. That's right, Lorraine. We won't have it. Just read Lorraine's comment. Yeah, we gotta have fun. Oh, somebody alerted. AVEO. Little flags, little pullbacks. One 50,000 share volume candle. Man, what I wouldn't give for just several 50,000 share volume candles right now. They're just not here. Or better. But at least you do have this trend line. And you can see how this kind of broke that. How these kind of fan out. When you hear me say fan out, a lot of these stocks will do that. You know, and then the next buy would be, you could buy this candle for it to pull up to here, right? And then flag and pull up to here, something like that. Maybe get some kind of a trend moving up. But then obviously this would fan out, right, to hold it down, something like that. So you see that a lot of these, you know, what you can also do is take my Fibonacci fan and line up the, go to the low, and now you've got a fan. Oh, that's black, huh? Oh, can't change it on the screen. Anyways, you can kind of see that one. So the Fibonacci fan's good for finding angular resistance too. If you guys want to check that out, I'll share that with you. I'm picky with volume because if there's a good volume trend with 50,000 shares or better, then I'm not going to get stuck staring at my screen for 45 minutes waiting to make whatever my goal is. And you can see right here, there's a lot of volume candles. There's none. There's some of these are like no volume. So these are just algos trading a share back and forth. Almost no shares. And then a real buyer comes in, or a machine buys, and you're just stuck in it. You're just stuck for 10 minutes right here, only to have it, you know, pull back below the 9 back to this angular support level here. And it's just lazy and slow. So I want liquidity. I want speed. Doesn't have to be a 15-second trade, but at least a 10-minute trade. You know, 5-minute trade. You know, it's not that I'm impatient, but if you have your money tied up in a day trade and there's no volume, and then all of a sudden something starts hitting, now you're like, oh crap, I got to sell that, move into my other trade. I want to close this one because I don't want to have multiple day trades open. So I tend to just stay away from them. CGC is a great one. This one's got great moves. So failed the pennant yesterday, pulled back, consolidation waves, trading in between 31 and 33.50, and really spent a lot of time in this level. And it looks like a good potential area to buy is 31. You guys want to make a good trade on this. This has enough volume. Look at this. I mean, these are great example of candles I like because they're 40,000, 50,000. I can deal with a couple where there's no trades and there's 5,000 candles or 5,000 shares that were traded. But here is a really good example of a falling wedge with a great possibility of breaking out once it gets tight. And I would like to see it get close to 31. It might not get all the way there. They might start to buy it, but look for a hammer and a volume trend reversal. Like right now, the volume trend is down. Look for the volume trend to go up. RSI is kind of starting to bottom. This might be where a couple people, you know, buy some decent sized positions and kick off a, you know, move to the top. Maybe a 20-cent move, 20 or 30-cent move to the top of the wedge. And then eventually this wedge is going to break out. You might kick yourself because you didn't buy the bottom of it here. But if it hits here and rejects, at least you're still pulling back to around where your entry is. Oh yeah, look at A&W. Yep. I see that. Looks like the pattern failed. Yep, everything just needs more volume. The Bears are in control on all of the small caps. But let's look at the big boys. The big boys are trading kind of nice. Like, look at Twitter. Decent amount of volume, still kind of low. But you know, but tradable. This is 32.68 up to 33 bucks, 40-cent move. You know, and the reason being is futures are pretty bullish. So after all that selling yesterday in that falling wedge, it broke out, and now it's in a kind of a rising wedge right now, which continues to break out to the upside. So a lot of the big stocks, the money is kind of shifted back to gobbling up some of these bigger stocks, like maybe Twitter, maybe Netflix. Let's see. Yeah, not really. Netflix is still trading inside my fans, but at least there's a light trend up, so maybe their eyes are on there. But overall, the volume is light everywhere. You know, you really have to hunt hard for opportunities. And I'm seeing some. That's where I might check the RSI scanner on days like today. So here's one. This is on the RSI scanner. Great volume, great 5-minute ride the 9 chart. And let's look at the daily. Daily's below the 9. Looks like it kind of broke out of this. Broke out of this. Maybe trying to get back up to that 9 around 1950. There's 1950s right up here. So very possible. So check out that RSI scanner. It'll pick up stocks that are moving with volume and are overbought, oversold on a 5-minute term. Oh, that's the wrong ticker. There you go. So the RSI scanner is great for finding a grinder, but also finding a potential reversal. So RSI scanner on our trade ideas. Pick this up. Super oversold on a 5-minute. Actually, look at that. Connect these over here. And boom. So this could be setting up for a move back up to the top of this channel today. Maybe, or maybe only halfway. But at the very least, this is starting to look interesting. I'm just looking at the scanner to see what else. For a good example, BHC, this was on the RSI scanner. This is an ascending triangle pattern right now with kind of low volume. Nothing fantabulous, but it's already broke out of a falling wedge right here. And daily seems to suggest maybe a 9 EMA touch today. That's around 21.89. So that's another 40 cents. That's up here. So maybe we see a touch up there to the 9, maybe a pullback. So we never got out of this triangle, and we continue. So this time I went right to those wicks. This is where these triangles, these patterns continue to fan out. Consolidate, sell off, fan out, delete them, draw some new ones on. If you guys are looking at DOS, check out the link I just put in the chat room for CMEG. That uses DOS Trader. There's no PDT rule. And there's editable hotkeys. It is the DOS platform, but it's powered by CMEG, which is an offshore broker, which works very well. Oh, wow. I just saw something, guys. I've got my other windows up, and I didn't even see TIS broke out of that falling wedge. So, and light volume, but it's something. Look at that, oversold, bounced off the bottom. Is that a hammer? No. Basically had this doji here, hammer, kickoff candle, and now it's riding the 9. Maybe this is going to make a play for VWAP. It's another 20 cents. But shoot, totally missed that one. That would have been a great trade to take, and the entry was missed. So this will probably pull back, maybe retest this, maybe get another bigger bounce to VWAP. You know, the bearish pattern already completed. So usually if you're not in these already, you need to wait, let it double test. Especially on low volume days like today. Don't take the risk. If you're looking for the RSI scanner, it's underneath the high a day, the momentum high a day scanner. You're welcome, guys. Yeah, dump SureTrader. SureTrader has better short availability, but CMEG has good short availability. It just might clean up. They might run out of shorts faster than SureTrader, but it's been pretty decent for shorting, and they use interactive brokers for a clearinghouse among a couple other decent sized brokers. So we've got a lot of guys in the community. CMEG does use DOS. They use their own CMEG does use DOS, so they just use their own proprietary developed version, but it's DOS, just called Elite Trader, and that's yeah, it's called right here, Traders Elite Pro. I'll share with you guys the live stream link for Zoom in a second, but you should be able to find it underneath the live streaming page, and you need to be logged in to see it. Yep, it was out in the open earlier, guys, but we had to move it. We had too many links crowding the header of our web page. So that's why you probably are having trouble finding it today. We like to hide stuff on you guys. Because we're mean like that. We just keep messing with it. Eventually we'll leave our website alone, guys, we promise. Alright, so maybe TIS getting another pop here. Light volume off the 9. Hasn't closed below the 9 yet. Let's take a look at Boxel. Yeah, Boxel may be trying off the angular support. It's sort of holding this angular support, not really well. Not very well. Let's look at something bigger. I'm checking our up in 5 scanner. This is looking at BZUN. A lot of these companies, Chinese-based companies, are starting to rally a little bit today. There's been rumors. I didn't see any news. I was looking hard last night. There were some rumors that were some not very good sources that China was going to be looking to bargain or maybe engage in talks with the U.S. on trade. So maybe that would help reverse some of these downtrends on pretty decent companies like Bizun. So let's see, the 9 EMA is up here around 52, 50, 55. Yeah, so it looks like Bizun. See if it has any trouble with VWAP. But Bizun's kind of in a bit of an up channel here, lazy up channel. Boxel failed. A&W still pretty much doing nothing. TIS is really the only thing that's doing kind of good right now, even though the volume pretty much sucks. But this is starting to get going. Thanks for the news, Angus. XRF. Oh yeah, look at that chart. Did I miss that on the... Oh, that was on the high-day scanner. I kind of ignored it. I was looking at the green of the float. Because it's a medium float. But yeah, that's got a good... Let's see, 1054, that alerted. Let's see what's going on with this one. draw some fibs. Always got to get our major fibs going on. So let's see, 1286 is the high. 160 was the low. Shazam. Okay, so watch. 301 is a major fib. But let's see, that's a really big major fib. Next one's at 442. Let's see if something bigger is going on here. Ah, this could be a really big reversal. Look at this massive downtrend for the last 6 months. That is pretty good. That is pretty nice. So volume is nice. Descending triangle, falling wedge. This could be a runner. So we'll keep that one up for right now. I'm checking out V-Ray because somebody in the chat mentioned V-Ray. V-Ray kind of looks like maybe an inverse head and shoulders if you count the pre-market low. Potential breakout on V-Ray. Again, just like yesterday, around 10:05 would be nice to see on V-Ray. Yes, we are only using our chat room, our day trade. Yes, I know I'm looking at XRF, but I'm looking at V-Ray off to the side. I've got I have 6 charts that I'm watching over here. It's very messy charts that I don't want to scare you guys with. So I'm keeping my clean chart up for you guys, and then I can watch multiples. But yeah, V-Ray might want to party above 10:05 all the way to 10:45. That would be really cool. Let's see. Yep, it's on the screen now. So again, we only chat in the chat room, not in the Zoom chat room, but our actual chat room. So I'm sorry if you guys have been sending messages to me and I haven't seen them. So V-Ray, let's go. Not a lot of volume. Really, really poor amount of volume, but maybe volume comes in when a technical area is broke. Inverse head and shoulders on V-Ray. Again, counting the pre-market. Head, shoulder, shoulder. This is resistance. And this is overhead angular. This would be your profit target right there. Okay? Which is around... It's really around 1050, 1045. See it right here, 1050, 1045. Yeah, history has proven that this is going to be very hard for V-Ray, but we shall see. Searching for volume. You can see right here. All right, Creed, I got you. Enjoy your lunch. I'll do some memes if I get bored with these charts, but right now I'm trying to find something that's going to move in a bullish direction. Everything has been short bias today. You can see right here, SMMT failed the apex of the triangle, moving lower. Nobody wants the small caps today, I guess. You want to see something making a move. This came up on the RSI scanner. XL. And let's see. That alerted at 11:01 on this candle. Wow. So that's a pretty big consolidation breakout on a daily chart. So this decided to run today after just a massive consolidation. Interesting. Guys, we only broadcast till about 11, maybe 11:30. We try to start around 9:10, 9:15. Do a little pre-market, show you what we're looking at, draw some patterns, figure things out, come up with a game plan, get a list, and then around 11:30 we pack it up. I'd like to get in a good habit of occasionally doing some power hours, and especially on a day like today. It might pop back in. That's Eastern time, New York time. So we just always go off of market time. Yeah, I think I might come back for power hour today because the morning sucked. Frankly, it was just to quote Lucian, it was messy and garbage. In that order. So the patterns were not really messy, but they certainly delivered garbage. They were clean patterns that just broke and failed. So if you guys like to short and you have a broker that can short, could have shorted a lot of these when they failed these patterns. They're I mean, even XL might fail right here, and you might be able to short it back to VWAP or all the way back to the breakout area. But I mean, look at, we had high hopes for A&W when it was a ascending triangle. We had high hopes for this pattern right here, this triangle pennant ascending triangle. And it just flushed. Found support, another right angle triangle, another toilet flush. And at this point, A&W looks like it's going all the way back to here, which is the original trend before it broke out. And so you'll see maybe a bounce here, and then maybe a test the 50 again. So this could be a good buy for a 20-cent move. JCPenney had massive volume this morning on earnings, and I can't believe this is $1.80. I don't know if they had a split or not, but it's just been such a bad failing company, closing stores, getting crushed by Amazon and other retailers. There was a JCPenney near where I live. It shut down, I think, a year or two ago. And it wasn't bad, but there was never anybody in it. There'd be like 10 people in it. So maybe JCPenney will bounce today. Didn't bounce here. Who knows where this fans out to next. But at least it's got volume. Thank God it's got volume, huh? So let's see. TIS could still potentially run later. A&W might run later. V-Ray will run if it gets above 1005. Checking the surging volume scanner. KNDI is hitting. But again, surging volume today is like, 10,000 shares on some of these stocks. It's terrible. Looks like IMTE halted and resumed. What the heck is going on with this one? Wow, it halted off this one candle. It's a strange one. Very, very strange. That was like a 1 minute spike. I'm looking at the up and 5 scanner right now. IMMU. This one might be setting up for a run with some volume. Broke that right angle resistance. Nice little volume here. It's a little overbought. Maybe wait for a pullback. Let's see what the daily, it's got earnings on the 20th. So maybe they're trying to save it a little bit. Might be a little bit of a reversal potentially to 22.58. That's up here. I'll get rid of that blue line. So this one could potentially move today. I have no idea about JCPenney being a buyout. I don't know if there's any rumors on that or not. I think it's just going to go bankrupt someday, personally. Like a Kmart. I don't know if there's still Kmarts around, but I mean, a lot of retailers are struggling, but they'll try. Look at Sears, Macy's, JCPenney. All companies that have been knocked around quite a bit the last couple years. Oh, okay, cool. I just haven't. All the Kmarts in my state, for the most part, have closed, or I don't see them anywhere. Bravo Echo Delta Unicorn. Looks like possible head and shoulders. Maybe a pullback to this, and then maybe a bounce. Looks like a missed opportunity earlier, with maybe another opportunity on this trend line. Look for maybe a reversal pattern there. Yeah. I could see that, Lucian. So, just going through our massive list of scanners real quick to see if I can find anything that's a good setup. Right now, I'm not seeing a good setup except maybe this, ONDK. This is having a good day so far. Maybe it turns it into a great day after a great earnings reaction. That is, let's see. It is possible. Let's go back further. All right, let's clear this. I'm going to draw some fibs. Let's see. I'm going to go back to the... So that's at 904. All right, it's already broken that level. So now I'm going to go to the next one. This looks pretty solid. Weekly resistance right here. All right. So now we can see why. And there you go. 916. Wow, that's kind of a huge cup and handle, huh? That's kind of nice. And you can see right there, there's our fib. Landed right on it. These fibs don't lie, guys. Yeah, I agree. The 80s are cool. I like the 80s. I pretty much like all the decades, except maybe, I don't know, the early 2000s. 2000... 2005. Those years. But look at this right now on ONDK. This is kind of looking good. ONDK is a cup and handle with a potential breakout with massive volume, potentially kicking off a nice uptrend. 915, 916 or so is kind of the zone to watch out for a breakout, but this one could really run today. Then it's got I guess it's got 941 as well. That was the last high, so you kind of want to look at that. You want to see if maybe it can get back up to there before it gets to 1014. I like the setup though. This one's got room to run. There's a lot of volume right there. Well, not a lot. I mean, more than 50,000, which is good. Oh boy, Lucian's talking about clothes. Yeah. Lucian's the cool guy, you know. He dresses cool. He's got the cool style. I'm just the dad that I got 2 kids and I coach soccer and just work my butt off. So I just wear whatever. I'm wearing some Under Armour shirt and some Adidas shorts and sandals. I'm a fashion disaster, but hey, I'm comfortable. I might not look too cool. My kids think I look cool. So there we go. We're looking at this ONDK, possible pennant, possible room to run to 916 here if we get some volume, because of course that is the word of the day. If I had to pick a word of the day, it's volume. Where is it? Anyone seen it? Where's the volume hiding? I think it's hiding in bigger stocks today that are even also not really having great days. Look at IQ. This is one of my favorite ones to trade when it has volume, but look, it's just terrible volume. We got some resistance there. Possible up channel there. So IQ might be setting up for a buy outside of this wedge. You could get a couple bucks on it. That's a really nice one to get a couple dollar trade on. It's not too expensive. Yes, that's me. Bald head and everything. Lucian's posting memes. Great job, Lucian. Great meme. So John says, where's the other guy who runs BB? So that would be Tim. Tim is our long-term trader. Tim has another job, and he will probably be the last person to go full-time. Lucian and I are now full-time doing this. So I'm very excited to be with you guys a lot more, teaching you guys a lot more, focusing on other strategies. We're going to be doing more members-only videos. And then eventually we'll get Tim out of his job. And Tim's about 2 years from retiring. Thank you, Angus. Tim's about 2 years from retiring from his job or so, with a really great pension for life. Tim was in the military. Tim's a police officer and works really hard, but would like to get that. And then he's going to focus on long-term swing trading, options, leaps, spreads, and all kinds of stuff like that. So you're going to see a lot more of that. No, he doesn't. Tim used to do webinars a little bit more, and you'll find Tim in our swing trade room posting charts and different trade ideas and trades that he's taking and in. So he's kind of, you'll see, he doesn't really have a good schedule right now to do streaming or videos, but at some point he'll start doing those again, a little more focused on just swing trading and long-term swing trading. So that is coming. All right, let's check out some surging volume. IQ may be getting ready, but it's getting close to lunch hour, so might be disappointed with lunch hour. I think we're going to have to wait until maybe after 1 o'clock to find some of these trades set up, because there's just atrocious volume for a Thursday. Yeah, that's right, Jack. Lottie Dottie and everybody. That's Tim. Tim has a lot of videos on our channel. You can check out some of the stuff he does. Lots of webinars. Great stuff if you're a beginner. Yeah. Let's see. Wow. Everything I see on our scanner, I type it in and I look, and it just makes me say, wow. Okay, here's one with really low. Oh. Wait, I miss an I. This one's got really low RSI. Hourly hammer potentially forming. This thing has dropped quite a bit. This might be a falling wedge setting up, or it's going to spill out. Looks like it already kind of spilled out of one wedge, and now it's kind of in another. So don't really like it. Just checking the RSI scanner. And not seeing anything good unless you're a bear, unless you want to short these. I'm checking our up in 5 scanner. And it looks like here, getting a little bit of volume off this 25.74 support. Looks like it broke out of this right angle. Descending triangle, falling wedge type pattern. Maybe this will get a little bit of movement today. Possible. Hourly chart looks kind of nice the way it popped up. I actually got to clear this drawing because it's got a crazy amount of lines on it. I'm actually going to go from here to about here. Or you know what? Let's go to the high. 37, 24, 15. All right, so there a little bit of room for here to run before we bump into one of these fib levels. This is a nice kind of pennant, bit of an ascending triangle maybe, but again, volume's low. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. If you're watching this stream on YouTube after it's been broadcast and done and you guys want to join us and you haven't joined us yet, what are you waiting for starters? Second, come on over to our website and click the subscribe button. And you guys will be able to sign up while we still have some great pricing. We still have our promo codes. Make sure you read the red here. Enter in Legacy 10, Legacy 99, and you guys can get our annual membership for $100 still, or our monthly membership for $10 instead of $50. So wouldn't that be nice to save some money on that? I think you should do that. If you're waiting, you guys can cancel anytime. Try us out. You don't like us, you don't like what we teach, you've got other options, but the feedback we've been getting from you guys is great. Love the private messages. We do these streams daily. We do watch list videos. We're going to start doing some recaps. We might do some power hour streaming for you guys. And got a lot of members only videos that are really good. We're going to be doing more, a lot more. We're going to be revamping our courses and kind of fleshing out the site and just making it better. We're still working on a forum for all of our users, so we'll have a forum for people to post charts and questions and strategies and all that fun stuff, and lots of information to kind of develop our site a little bit further for you guys. But thanks for all the good feedback. Love hearing all the great comments in our chat room. So if you guys want to hang out with us, sign up, try us out. What do you got to lose? Got a lot to gain. Got a great community, very nice people in our chat room. Super thankful for our members. And, you know, days like this where it's quiet, there's not a lot of good bullish patterns that are following through with volume. Really, the word of the day was volume. There wasn't a lot in here. And it could be waiting on some economic news about tariffs. The Fed is doing their balance sheet info at 3:30. So there's, you know, some economic data coming down the pipe a little bit later today. Let's see, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow, 9 a.m. consumer sentiment. Basically, I'm just checking this this economic calendar site and looking for, you know, what's the news today? What's the news? Oh, that's Saturday. Here's the news tomorrow. Retail sales, Baker Hughes rig count. I know our futures room, those guys are on top of futures. If you guys are interested in futures and want to learn how to trade them, that's a room you want to go to. You got some great mods in there. Rose and James are doing an awesome job teaching, showing charts. Check out our futures room. You guys can learn a lot. But they're following this data a little bit closer for how it moves. You know, crude oil and gold and the S&P 500 mini futures. So I like to look at this stuff too. Look at the big picture. Look at news, Benzinga Pro. See what's going on, but just a slow volume day. So hopefully tomorrow will be better with volume. Hopefully Power Hour will be better. We will check later this afternoon with you guys, and I'll be in and out of the chat room. Same with Lucian, same with our mods. So thank you guys for joining the stream. Appreciate y'all, and we will talk very soon.